Welcome to the Echo Tips podcast.
Here's a sneak peek into what we're going to cover in this week's episode of the Echo Tips podcast.
I found Amazon FireTV Stick 4K streaming device, includes support. It's $24.99 after $25 in savings. I found Amazon FireTV Stick 4K Max streaming device, supports Wi-Fi 6E. It's $39.99 after $20 in savings.
Well, hello. As you could tell from our prelude today, we're going to be taking a look again at wonderful discounts, sales, things going on. What is a good deal? What is not a good deal? Especially related to Amazon products. Now, last week we talked about, in particular, the large list of Amazon Echo products and Echo shows that have screens. We talked a wide price range, I think all the way down to like $17, all the way up to like $274, I think, or something like that. And we talked about the wide range of ages of those devices, which might be a good or bad idea to purchase, depending on your situation and what you're really looking for. And hopefully that helped inform you. Now, this week, we're going to do something similar with another A-Lady product that you may often not think of as an A-Lady product, but really it has the same voice commands in many regards and feature sets, and that is the FireTV Stick brand. Now, I say stick because there is actual Fire TVs built into TVs. I know, it's terribly confusing. And Amazon makes their own line of those devices. There's other product lines like Toshiba and others that have Fire TV built into it to make it a smart TV. And but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about these add-on devices that you can plug in, which I would really say I would highly recommend in most circumstances, simply because as the hardware ages or devices get faster, you can just pop that little stick out, pop in a new one next year when it's on sale, and off to the races you are with better, faster equipment. Now, in particular, we're going to talk about the FireTV Stick 4K today and the FireTV's 4K Max. And we're also going to bring up just kind of revisit some of the points from last week about the Echo shows, in particular, some of the new Wi-Fi connectivities that are being available with some of these devices. Oh, I forgot, we're going to maybe mention the Fire TV Cube today as well. So if you are looking for a bargain, we're going to be starting somewhere around $24 and go up to maybe $100 and some change. But wow, you got quite a price range here. And once again, if you see the prices are more than what I'm suggesting, then maybe you need to hold off and go look for that deal that's out there. Now, first off, I'd like to welcome our new listeners who are listening to the podcast. Welcome. I am an assistive technology instructor with the New Vision program at Goodwill, my name being David Ward, and I'm based here in the Blue Ridge Mountains in Southwest Virginia in the city of Roanoke. And you're welcome to the podcast, the Echo Tips podcast, now being in its 6th season, and you can go back and check our back catalog of 5 past seasons. Are a wide variety of things that we've covered. We try to keep the podcast 5 to 15 minutes long. We've had a few episodes the last month or so that are a little bit over that 15-minute mark, and so, so we do go long sometimes when there's a lot of information to cover. But we cover, well, that's a good question. What do we cover? We cover all things related to basically the Amazon Echo and the A-Lady. Now, in particular, I talk about the Echoes, all the way back to the original Pringle can, to the Echo shows, to the ones that are designed to be mounted on the wall, like the Echo 15, the Echo Show 15. Today, we're going to be talking about Fire TVs. We've talked about skills and games and new AI features that are coming on the Echo. We've talked about kids features and Kids Plus subscription features. We talked about families, parental protection. We've talked about accessibility tools for those with disabilities, how Echoes can be used by seniors or caregivers. We've covered a huge variety of things. And I might even mention during this podcast where you can go back and find the whole back catalog if you just want to go back and maybe look for a particular nugget in particular. So anyhow, we'd love to welcome you, our new listeners and our returning listeners as well. Because of you, we're well over that 100,000. I think we're 121, somewhere around the 121,000 listens to the podcast. So we really appreciate your listenership. Well, before we delve into this topic of deals and sales connected with the FireTV line of devices, the sticks and things like that are add-ons, we're going to go to a brief message about our podcast, and then we will be, I promise, right back. This episode is brought to you by New Vision at Goodwill Industries of the Valleys, and also made possible in part by a grant from the Virginia Board for the Blind and Vision Impaired. New Vision is a program of Goodwill that provides information services and assistive technology training to individuals with visual impairments. Goodwill Industries of the Valleys is a nonprofit organization serving Central, Southwest, and Southside Virginia. Goodwill's mission is to empower individuals, strengthen families, and inspire communities. These shows are provided for educational purposes. This podcast may not be retransmitted, sold, or reproduced without written permission from New Vision. Well, hello again, and welcome back to the podcast. It's good to have you all with us here, and as I said earlier, we're going to be talking about some of those sales, discounts, and conversely, what would be a bad deal, really? I mean, what? That's $10 more. That's $15, $20 more? No, that's right. Get the deal, man. That's what we're going to be talking about. Now, in particular, we're going to be talking about what's called FireTV Sticks. We'll also mention the FireTV Cube because it's kind of a weird crossover product between an Echo and like a TV stick. And we'll also mention just kind of a touching back on some things connected with last week's episode about the Echo's line of devices. So anywho, we'll delve right into this. Now, if you're totally unfamiliar with this, these are gizmos that can make a dumb TV a smart TV. And quite frankly, speaking as a gentleman with 3 international certifications in computer technology, networking, and security, I would recommend these devices even for people that already have a smart TV. Huh? Yes, even for people that have a smart TV. Now, why would I say that? Because your smart TV, probably you purchased it, it may have had a wonderful screen. The screen is the huge cost of the device. But when they put those smart internals into the device, they're probably buying the cheapest possible thing they can. Now, different vendors are going to be different, admittedly, and that may not always be the case. But even if it was top of the line when you bought that TV 5 years ago, believe me, that little computer in there that's running the Roku or the Fire TV components that make your TV smart, that allow you to open Netflix and YouTube or play movies from Apple or from wherever you want it, CBS, whatever, Paramount Plus, whatever it is, that thing is aged. And as a computer, it ages pretty poorly. And so this is the beauty of these little add-on sticks that you can plug in, plugs right into your HDMI port, and then sometimes plugs into power. Sometimes it doesn't even need that because it'll just pull power off the HDMI. But you plug it in there, you would never know it because it's behind your TV, and boom, you've generally jumped from a software and computer model that was doing all that stuff that was 5-6 years old, boom, to current new stuff. And so you get enhanced performance, maybe better Wi-Fi. We're going to talk about that today, and just all around a better product. So I would say for anybody, these are the sort of devices you want to look at. Now, the old term we used to use for these were set-top boxes, but not really appropriate anymore because our TVs are so skinny you can't set anything on top of them. You know, you think of VCRs and age-old things. But these are add-ons like the FireTV Stick, which we'll be talking about, but similar devices like a Roku or Apple TV would be in the similar kind of genre that we're talking about today. Now, so Fire TV, what is the newest device? Well, I'm glad you asked, and it is on sale, and it is relatively brand new. It was announced back in September. This is the brand new hardware lineup, so we're not talking about something that's a year or two old. When we talked about the Amazon Echoes last week, there were some Echoes that were going on like 4 years old. I mean, some really old stuff that hasn't been updated in a while. But that is not the case with some of these Fire TV sticks. So the newest ones you're going to look at, and the easiest way I found to delineate it when you go to Amazon.com is type in Fire TV, all one word, and then stick. And then put 4K in there somewhere too. And you have spaces between, Fire TV is one word, then space 4K stick, space stick. And that's probably the easiest way to get them to pop up. And more than likely, it'll be the first couple of sponsored results that land at the top. They will say all new in them. All new, basically. And that's how you know they're the newest. Now, the first one we're going to talk about is the base model, which is just the traditional Fire TV Stick 4K. 4K implies the high resolution Ultra HD component. I don't think you can buy just a non 4K TV today. I guess you probably could if you really look for it, but they're all going to be basically 4K today. But even if it's not, that processor is going to run really super fast on an HD display. I mean, because it's not going to be trying to do everything at 4K in those instances often. Okay, so what is the current deal? Well, let's talk to our A-Lady and find out. If you have an echo in hearing distance of me, by the way, you may want to shut its ears off because I am going to be asking the A-Lady for some of these prices. Okay, so here we go. Alexa, how much does a Fire TV 4K stick cost?
I found Amazon Fire TV Stick 4K streaming device. Includes support. It's $24.99 after $25 in savings.
So look at that. It's basically half the price. So $24 and some change, like $24.99. Wow. Super, super deal. Now before I delineate some of the differences here, there is a model above that known as the 4K Max. So let's get that. Alexa, how much does a Fire TV 4K Max cost?
I found Amazon Fire TV Stick 4K Max streaming device. Supports Wi-Fi 6E. It's $39.99 after $20 in savings.
Okay, so there you go. So also a tremendous deal, and only like $15. Basically more than the one below it. So really, really cool, and like a $20 savings. Okay, so what are the differences between these two sticks, basically the 4K and the 4K Max? Well, they both use the HDMI connections, and they use a Ultra HD 4K connector. So none of that is really different. Now, a principal difference that you might have heard, which was mentioned in the listing with the Max, was that it does support the newest Wi-Fi 6E, not to be confused with 6. Okay, so the 6E supports not only the 2.4 gigahertz, which has been around with Wi-Fi for 20 years, but also the 5 gigahertz, which is more modern. I think that mostly came out with Wi-Fi 5, or we would call AC. Well, that was the old term. And now there was the, where was I going with that? So that's 2.4 gigahertz signal. That's a radio frequency, a 5 gigahertz signal. And now it adds a 6 gigahertz signal range as well. So if you are in an apartment complex or in an environment where there's a lot of different Wi-Fi signals from your neighbors that are in proximity to you, which would have to be probably an apartment complex because these signals don't go terribly far, the 5 gigahertz and the 6 gigahertz spectrum not only allow you to have a lot faster speeds, but more importantly, I would say, less interference. Now, admittedly, those signals don't penetrate walls nearly as well, and you almost need to be line of sight probably with some of them, but it eliminates a huge amount of the interference with like almost everything under the sun that uses 2.4 gigahertz. So it may be well worth your while, and if you want to future-proof yourself, that definitely might be something to work with or look at, which is in the Max and not the base model. Okay, so that's a big distinction. Another distinction between that, for that extra $15 basically, is the Max also has twice the storage space on it. So if you're installing a lot of apps and Netflix and YouTubes and lots of Tubi and Freebie or whatever, all these different, Sling, all these different apps, and you're installing a lot of apps on there, that might be something to look at as well, because you're doubling your storage. You're getting a faster processor, which was actually the first line of the bulleted list. You're getting that better Wi-Fi standard. So all the way around, for $15, I think you're getting a lot better deal. That would personally probably be my recommendation. And if I buy one of these here in the next couple of weeks, that's the one I'm going to buy. And yes, I do have a FireTV Stick right here in front of me, and in front of my studio here, on my TV monitor that I have here. So I do use this device all the time. And mine's getting a little long in the tooth, so I am thinking about upgrading. But two tremendous deals, $24.99 and $39.99. And so if you see a price above that, you might want to look around again. And like we said, often you can just order these products right on Amazon. These are the brand new, came out this fall, announced in late September. So that's these devices. They also come with remote controls, as you would expect. I guess I should have explained that. Just like a Roku or something, comes with remote controls, so you can mess around with it. And it even has a built-in microphone into the device, so you can give that voice command right into the microphone. You can just hold it right up to you. You can say, play MacGyver season 1, and it will go and grab content or search for content. Or you can give any of the A-Lady commands that you would usually give to your Echo, like what's the weather for tomorrow, or turn the kitchen lights on, or turn on the porch light, any of your home automation stuff connected with your A-Lady, you can do with the Fire TV using that remote. Now, they do make a hobgoblin product, I will say, that's a blend between an Echo and a Fire TV Stick, and it is called the Fire TV Cube. And it is also a relatively new product. I don't think it was revised this past fall. I think it might be slightly older than that, but it clearly has some of the more higher powered processing in it, and it supports Wi-Fi 6E. So it does support that new Wi-Fi standard, and I might future-proof you a little bit. So it looks like a little cube, and really what it adds to the Fire TV Stick Max, or is in that kind of that range, is it has microphones built into it. So it actually stands upright on your desk or in front of your TV, or you could mount it somewhere. And you can actually, just without using the remote, although you could use the remote because it does still have a microphone built in, you can just verbally say, yada, yada, do this, and, A-Lady, do that, and it will do it. So it's more of a hands-free kind of style option. Okay, so that's basically that model. The Fire TV Cube is somewhere right now on sale around the $100 mark. I think it's like $105 or $106, something like that. And is usually somewhere around market retail value, markup prices, $139.99. Okay, so that is basically the rough cut of those devices and how they work. Wonderful product line. Wonderful for me and some of my students who have disabilities, vision impairments, and other things. They have a wonderful suite of tools in there with a screen reader and magnification tools. Great for that. And along with the voice command thing, super duper cool. All right, well, if you have any thoughts or suggestions for me in a future episode, by all means reach out to us on Facebook or Twitter at Goodwill Industries of the Valleys. And you can even email us, yes, the old-fashioned email, and put a stamp on that letter. And you can email us at info@goodwillvalleys.com. And just either way, in the subject line or on the Facebook or tweet or whatever, you can just say, hey, I'm directing this to the Echo Tips podcast or with Dave, and I had a question or a topic for a future show, and just let us know. Well, until next time, it's time to turn the ears back on your Echo. Go find out and find some of those great deals and make some purchases so you can have an Echo and all sorts of other goodies and Fire TVs, ready to go. Until next time, we do thank you for listening.
Thanks, Dave. Let me tell you a bit more. Let me put on my official sounding voice. Ahem, ahem. This episode is brought to you by New Vision at Goodwill Industries of the Valleys and also made possible in part by a grant from the Virginia Board for the Blind and Vision Impaired. New Vision is a program of Goodwill that provides information services and assistive technology training to individuals with visual impairments. Goodwill Industries of the Valleys is a nonprofit organization serving Central, Southwest, and Southside Virginia. Goodwill's mission is to empower individuals, strengthen families, and inspire communities. These shows are provided for educational purposes. This podcast may not be retransmitted, sold, or reproduced without written permission from New Vision. Phew! Thanks for listening.